A very good morning to you, and it's so amazing coming live from the Wibena studios, bringing to you inspired thoughts. And with me here, I'm having a very awesome crew. I have a very handsome gentleman to my far right. Hi, Ronnie.
I love the fact that I'm handsome. Always.
Yeah,
Hi,
yeah, yeah.
Mercy. I just want to say a very lovely morning to everybody who's tuned into our social media TVs. That's Webena TV, and of course on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and the various social media platforms. We are at Webena Impact. You can follow us. But maybe before I go any further, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to be featuring on the first episode of the Inspire Talk.
Oh yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
it's it's all seen. The glow is just amazing. Or it's
Yeah,
because it's the eve of Christmas.
exactly. I mean, we are in that mood of Christmas, and this season reminds us of a lot of things, but maybe we'll be coming back
Oh
to
yeah,
that
yeah,
later.
yeah. Just before Ronnie texts me so back, I'm your very own Kali Chimase, and I'm so delighted to be the host of this wonderful episode. And together with us, we're having somebody right here. I would love to introduce him, but because I have so much respect to people's names, especially how they are pronounced,
Yeah.
I'll prefer to introduce to you this wonderful gentleman by the name JD. So he's going to be telling us what does the J stand for and D stand for. And please, sir, feel free.
Wow, thank you very much. Straight away, J stands for Jean and D stands for Désiré. That's a French name. That's why you have been struggling to pronounce that name. Can you repeat it, by the way? Jean Désiré?
I didn't know you were going
Please.
to roast me,
Uh,
but
Jean Desire.
Jean Désiré.
Jean Desire.
Ah, yeah, exactly. But if you're struggling with French, you better call me JD. Yep. Yeah, as simple as
yeah,
that.
I think
You.
we'll go by JD for now.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
very
so
simple.
our today's show, our key focus is on the social economic empowerment to the very vulnerable groups, especially the women and the youth in our society. And I think this topic comes very at the right time. People are preparing to have some glow somewhere at home.
Yeah.
But at the end of the year, we need to have these reflective moments with us. What exactly have we achieved, both in our social and economic part of it? And I would really ask you to briefly, okay, not briefly, because I know you have a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you take us through who is JD?
Oh, thank you very much. JD, I'm the founder and CEO of LADA Leadership Consulting, which is an organizational development consulting firm based here in Kigali, Rwanda. And basically, we help organization leaders to improve their performance
Yeah.
because we have a 4P approach. So P number one is performance, and we help them to enhance their productivity. That's P number two, and we help them to expand their portfolio. And lastly, we help them to increase their profitability. So any business leaders would like to have more profit, but most of the time people don't realize that profitability is an outcome.
Yeah.
So there's something that determines your profitability, which is your performance and your productivity. And we focus in that area to see how to improve your company or your services, how to increase your productivity, because that's what's going to determine your profitability at the end of the day.
Well,
Okay.
this is so amazing, but I really feel it's to the top up there. I'll be so much delighted, and I guess definitely our audience wants to interact with you at a very personal space. So before JD became the CEO, there's a story behind that because we are doing inspired talks, and definitely we have to dive into the storytelling aspect. You know, storytelling is very amazing. So would you really mind telling us your story? How did it unfold until you became the CEO that you are today?
Maybe Mercy, before Mr. JD, you come to that. I would like to merge her question with a small bit of experience. Very many young people. I'm talking about young people because Basically, we are looking at, you talked about women and then the youths.
Yes.
Which youths make the biggest percentage of this country, or maybe East Africa. So there are a lot of people from the start of the year, from the genesis of 2020. Most of us had papers. There are a lot of people, everyone wrote down something like, you know, I want to get this, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve this, I want to get married, I want to get this, want to start working for myself, I want to resign so I can set up something. But at the end of the day, sometimes, somewhere, somehow, you've not struck your level of expectations. What you expected, what you jotted down, you never achieved. You were once a young man. Right now, I can say your father, you're an adult. But maybe taking you, first of all, to that young man, that young woman, who jotted down some things. But 2020 has been, some people say, has been a year that they have never experienced in life. I never achieved what I wanted, and I'm really disappointed. I really, many people would say, Happy New Year 2020, may it be of milk and honey, but we've not seen milk and honey this year. Maybe before we go to your story, do you have a word to that young man, that young woman who's watching you right now and they have not made it to their jotted, to that list they put down, or even some of them went to church towards the end of the year telling God, I want this, and they have not made it there?
Very, very good question. And I'll try to summarize my answer in this way. There's someone whom I don't remember, but he said something that touched my heart. I like quotes. He said, in life, expect the best, but prepare for the worst to happen. These two things go hand in hand. Can I repeat what I say?
Sure.
Expect the best. No one will prevent you from dreaming, expecting. Yes, expect the best to happen. Luckily, if you expect the best to happen and it happens, congratulations, which is okay. But guess what? Along the way, there are so many things that are going to come and hinder and try to block your way. So don't be disappointed, because it's part of the package.
Yeah.
Disappointments, setbacks, rejections, failures, they are part of the game. It's okay to fail. It's okay to be disappointed. What I like to ask people is, which lesson did you learn in your disappointment? Because there are lessons that you'll never learn from any formal education. You don't need a certificate or a diploma or a degree at the end of COVID-19 period.
Yeah.
But guess what? You have earned an
Lifetime.
unseen certificate and an approved degree with an unknown university within this period of time.
Yeah.
Because it will be a waste of time spending 12 months during this pandemic and you didn't learn anything. There was no teacher, there was no lecturer, but you learned something. So write down, what did you learn in this period of time? It's very, very important, because challenges are not there to break you. Challenges will come to make you.
Well, that's so beautiful, eh? And I see everyone is getting into some introspective moments. And I hope our audience are also following. Feel free to ask a question. Feel free to participate with us in this amazing talk. So in your previous remarks, you mentioned something that it's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to fail. It's okay to have that feeling that things are not working my way. Do you have any strategy based on personal experiences that helped you come out of this you were once disappointed, I guess so. You felt, I think I just need to put all my bags right here and go back. What really made you come out of that pit?
I would say, oh wow, I can't even count how many times I've been disappointed or failed. Because along the way, if you didn't fail, that means you didn't do anything. Because failure, it's so painful, but on the other hand, is very helpful and beneficial for your progress. For instance, I'll just give a simple example. Uh, a personal life, my personal life, without going into professional life. In 2009, if I can recall, I was 33 years old because I was born in 76. I had a dream as a young guy of getting married. You know, when you finish school, you finish university, after getting a job, your next dream is to get married. Here comes a beautiful lady from all the way from Burundi, and they got married in 2009. So we had a picture of what was supposed to be our dream family and home. So we only lived together for 9 months. I think most of people who follow me, who know me, they know my story. Uh, she was 6 months pregnant. We were expecting a baby boy. You know, I can recall I've spent enough time with my wife. Every time she was going to the hospital, I was there with her. You know, when the woman is pregnant, there is a communication with the child in the womb.
Yeah.
He is not there physically, you can see him, but he will feel your presence. That's why I always encourage husbands to be around their pregnant wives. It's very, very important. It's healthy
Yeah.
for both wife and your child.
Child.
And we're communicating all the time, but unfortunately, something happened, unexpected. We were really expecting the best to happen, but along the way, something unusual, painful happened to me. It was on 10th April 2010. She was supposed to go back home. She was from Burundi. She was supposed to attend her young sister's wedding. And she was, the same day, she was involved in a horrible car accident. And she died instantly. So I lost both my wife and my unborn baby boy. So I've never thought that one day I'll become a widow. How would you cope with such setback after 9 months
And all the communication.
and all the communication? That was my life. That was supposed to be the end of my life. But guess what? I I kept my dream alive. I had a dream.
Yes.
I had a plan in my mind. I had a vision, basically. You know, I always encourage people to have a vision, a clear vision. Because this is what will drive you along the way. Where are you going? Where are you heading to?
Yeah.
Because you have so many barriers. You have so many checking points. So what do you do? Because the moment you stop along the way, the first thing that should encourage you is your vision. I didn't, I was very much disappointed, but I said, a ruta continua. I have to continue my route. I have to move on courageously. It takes time to heal, but I said, I have a vision.
Yeah.
I have to stick to it. Yes, this disappointment that happened to me, it was a very big challenge, but I said, I have to rise up. I don't have to dwell there in the past. I have a brilliant future that was in my mind. And another thing that I like to tell young people, which is a motivation factor, try to find what motivates you that comes from the inside, not from the outside.
Yep.
Because you have no control with what happens from the
Outside.
outside. But you can control your attitude. You can control your
Discipline.
mindset. It's up to you. You are 100% in charge of your mindset. It's very, very important. And your attitude. So I kept the right attitude. I made sure that I pursue my routes, my path, to make sure that I fulfill my vision.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing such a touching, and I'm so sure this is a very dear part of your life. Thank you so much for sharing the story with us. And something that came out strongly as you were sharing the story is the fact that you who are self-driven, you still had the focus, your end goal, and that's something that has come out so vocal. You are asking each and every person, despite the age group that you're in, be it a youth, be it an adult. I think we're coming into a conclusion that self-drive, self-motivation is something so impressive, so prudent to have. And something else that came out is also the motive. Why are you doing what you are doing at that
I like
particular
that. I
time?
like that.
So I think Ronnie can just build on that.
As a young man who is also in love with another beautiful young girl, when I hear that story, I met him in the office, and he has that beautiful smile, and I didn't know. Oh my God, I didn't know.
But Ronnie, allow me to step in and disturb you a little bit.
Sure.
This is the first story. It's not the end.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not.
No. Let me make it worse.
Yes.
I lost my first wife in a car accident, but I tried to rebuild my life. Okay. And after 4 years, I met another beautiful lady. She was a Rwandan. She lives abroad. We were expecting to have another beautiful family. But guess what? Along the way, I won't say that marriage wasn't made for me because I failed maybe once or twice. But I always encourage people, it doesn't matter how many times you fail. Trust me, as long as you believe in what you believe and you know the reason why you believe it,
Yeah.
don't give up. Keep on fighting.
When I hear you speak, my something runs in my head like, how do you even manage that smile?
How did you pick up the people?
How did you pick up yourself? Because we know of that renowned story of a young lady who came to Makuza near
and
this
they
building, and
decided-
because
Yeah.
of heartbreak with now that's another guy breaking my heart, and I feel I just can't take this anymore, and I have to end my life. But you yourself, you have. I know what it means. Like, I'm sitting down with my girlfriend, my fiancée, and we're talking about stuff, and I'm imagining we're going to have that beautiful family, and you got married, I mean, all those expenses, and then you're expecting your firstborn baby boy, and at the end of the day, you've lost both of them, and you've lost your family, like you've lost everything. But again, you talked about self-drive, having a self-drive, and then as a young man or young woman who's watching us out there, by the way, to give you a reminder, we are live on YouTube at Webena TV, Webena Impact, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also follow us. We are at Webena Impact. How did you manage? First of all, tell us, because I know sometimes if you talk about self-drive, that thing that drives you as a person, why are you doing what you are doing as a young man, as a young woman? Why are you doing what you're doing? There is what we call purpose.
Yep.
finding
Very,
your
very important.
finding your purpose as a person. But you, I mean, those are very, very heartening stories. They are stories of the heart. They are issues of the heart. How do you manage?
Can I take it further?
Sure.
I said,
Okay, this is
I
becoming
mean,
so interesting.
yeah, yes, yes. This is real. This is my life experience. Because, you know, I lost my first wife, and I tried to rebuild my life. Like I've said, when you lose your wife, man, your life becomes a total mess.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do basically, because she was there for you. Yeah, but you had so many projects with her or with him, because I know that there are women who lost their husbands,
Yeah.
and their husbands who lost their wives. Um, uh, so it's a loss, painful loss. And when I try to build my life, because I know that I'm, by the way, for information, I'm very romantic. I, I, I know how to laugh,
Yeah.
because there is love in me.
Wait,
Yeah.
It's built in. Yes, I am.
You're hitting Mercy. She's
I think this will take it
Okay.
after.
All right. Okay.
it's all right.
So it's jovial. It's more joyful to have a happy family, and this was my dream. I said I won't give up, because I always encourage people, because there are people who will be disappointed maybe once or twice, and guess what? The next step they're gonna make, which is very crucial, is to make a decision and say, do you know what? I quit. I give up.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. These things were not made for me. Therefore, I'm not qualified. I'm not worthy. Trust me. Think twice before you make any decision.
Well, just right there. Um, just before the show, we had a bit of a conversation on Twitter, and I remember somebody getting back and trying to get a bit sentimental about their story, and they mentioned that every time they shed tears, they always feel that it's a waste, that they are sharing their tears, and I felt that this is a point that somebody is getting, and they're no longer seeing their self-worth, and you just mentioned it. So given that most of us who are of the people right now in the society, we might not be able to articulate our fears or our levels of esteem because of various reasons, what words do you have for that person who is just at the verge of losing it? They're like, my hands are up. I've tried it. Yes, I've cried. And then what happens? Nothing. Given the situation right now, most of the youths lost their jobs during the pandemic. Families are not understanding. Maybe you were the person that your family was looking up to. They see you every day on the road, probably even sitting in the office setup, but you're not able to meet the standards that you were meeting before. And as the year is coming to a closure, somebody is saying, I'm ending all this with a year. I'm giving up. What would you tell this person?
I would say they need to have a mental strength.
Yeah.
It comes from, it's not physical strength. You need to have a very strong mental, I'll say, um, mental mental strength, which is going to carry that burden, because it's a burden.
Yeah.
So therefore, have something that is going to keep you on the ground and still believe in yourself. It's something that has to come from the inside, like I've said previously, that I can mentality should be there all the time to remind you, as we have an alarm to to advise us, to warn us about what's going to happen, have that alarm in your mind that keeps telling you that you're going to make it. You are able, still be there, be on the ground. You are able to make it. Why am I saying this? That's what pushes champions.
Yeah.
If you're on the ground, you're on the field, let me give a soccer or football illustration. How many times a striker will be fooled on the pitch? His goal, his aim is to score.
Yeah.
Maybe today we played a very tough match. I didn't score. I've been given a red card. Do you think because I've been given a red card, I won't continue to train? We are in the championship. There are more to come.
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning, go and train in the rain anytime, any season, because there is another game that is scheduled next week.
Yes.
There are more games to play, my friend. You have lost one match. That is not the final game of your life.
Yeah, sure.
Trust me. You have lost one game, maybe two games. But guess what? Who knows? The third or the fourth game, you're going to score, you're going to mark. You can make it. You'll make it. How many people we know in the history of football, they have lost the first match, the second one. But guess what? On the third or the fourth, they'll rise and they will score and they'll get a trophy. There is a trophy waiting for you if you don't give up.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now, I just want to the people that are watching us live on Facebook, our Facebook page, that is Webena Impact. Someone just wrote a comment, which I would really love to share. He's called Gilbert Haven, says, "My big brother's testimony always sounds new and refreshing. It gave me strength when I met him for the first time in South Africa at the college. Many should hear it. I personally love and respect him for the impact he brought in my life."
That's
Wow.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, just
Go-
before you went into reading the comments, I had felt that the atmosphere had changed. By any chance, are you a pastor?
Yes.
Serious?
We should have started by a prayer. You know, I feel like we're moving to a different ambience. Eh? Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. Yeah, there is that pitch that when you started raising your voice, I was like, yeah, so we got
I was almost getting
we
up,
got a
you know?
Tip Jackson here.
Now, you mentioned something so powerful
Yeah.
that I would not feel so good if I don't touch on it. You mentioned the part of keep moving. There's always another day,
Yep.
a new beginning.
Yep.
Now, I want to put this from our education backgrounds, from the institutions that we go to. This mental stability, do we acquire it from the general schooling system we go to, or do we need another separate life coaching kind of a setup for someone to build up this kind of a mindset? Because we've had seminars all over. They tell us, don't give up. Keep on pushing. We have our parents, they sit us down every now and then when we go back home. They're like, don't give up. Keep on. We have colleagues all over preaching the very same gospel. How do we acquire this exceptional skill that will enable us to move on? Now that you're even a CEO of a company that is really focused onto the professional aspect on making profits, how do we pick that from the various educational institutes we have?
Very, very important. When we go, allow me to talk about the four Qs.
Yeah.
Okay. Q number one, which is known widely as is IQ, or intelligence content. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is your ability to do mathematics, to reason, to think, to strategize, to make the right decision, which is okay. So when you go to school, most of the time they want to assess your IQ,
Yeah.
okay, which is okay. But guess what? We need another, not IQ, but EQ, which is
Emotional
emotional
intelligence.
content. What does it mean? You know, trust me, as long as you live with people, because people are relational.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with relationships. So with relationships comes feelings, okay?
Yeah.
That's why you see many people fail in their jobs because their IQ is very high. They're very good with what they do, with their accounting, with mathematics, with whatever they have learned at school, but they don't know what to do with people's emotions. It's very,
Yeah.
very important to have some knowledge about emotions.
Yeah.
But besides emotions, there's another Q, which is very, very important. We are talking about now social content. People have to know how to socialize because we live in a society.
Yes.
Because you're not an island. You live in a society. We live in a group of people. You are at work. You are at a school. How are you going to cope with social life? That's why I always encourage people that people who spend time 40 days in a remote village praying day and night, it's okay. But guess what? You have been disconnected to the society
Which you
for
are
40
part of.
days, which you are part of,
Yes.
But we're still preaching out. You should pray. It's
which
very
is
important.
okay.
Yeah.
But guess what? Don't lose that connection, social connection. And another thing that you have mentioned that I want to talk about is what we call adversity content. How do you cope with adversity, with setbacks? We don't have to wait for coaching sessions, and that's why we need to have a revolution in the way we create, we come up with our curriculums, and this has to start at an early stage. People should learn at an early stage how to cope with adversity, how to deal with challenges at an early stage.
Yeah.
We don't have to wait that someone is an adult to know how to have these skills because sometimes it's too late. It's too late. If I've learned it in a hard way, it shouldn't be the same case with mercy. Because guess what? What happens if you're 8, 10, 12, and you lose both your parents?
You follow them.
What happens? Let's say you were brought up in a very, very rich family. You had everything on the plate. You went to a very good school, and all of a sudden, your dad's business or your mom's business collapses, and you lose everything. You go bankrupt. You went to go back to the same school. You can't go back there anymore.
Yeah.
Most of those children, trust me, because they don't have that capacity,
Breakdown.
they'll break down. Because they don't have the guts to carry on.
The lifestyle that lifestyle you used to.
Exactly. They have been living in a comfort zone for so long.
Yeah.
They didn't expect anything wrong to happen, and all of a sudden, everything will crash. What happens? But I guess if they were informed before that it is possible, people should be told about possibilities.
Yes.
Possibilities not only in a positive way, but possibilities in a negative way. At least they are warned before time, and they will know how to carry themselves in that situation. It's very, very important. It's very, very important.
Thank you so much. Maybe sometimes I really love listening to people's stories. At one time, Mercy got a story, I got a story, and you have a story. Maybe we have a few minutes to come to the end, and I just want to encourage the people that are watching us on Facebook, on our social media platforms. Thank you very much. If you've not followed us yet on our page, that's Webena Impact. Follow us kindly on Instagram, Webena Impact, and Twitter, we are at Wibena Impact. Mr. JD, maybe coming back to you one more time. Mercy talked about something. I really wanted to interfere, but I again let her finish her question. We've heard a lot of people. We've listened to pastors. We've listened to bishops. We've listened to parents. We've listened to inspirational speakers. But does it take someone an extra mile to get up themselves? Sometimes they will tell you, go and listen. In the US, those people, if you have anything, maybe mental, they will refer you to a healthy worker.
Yep.
To counseling, you go for counseling. Which is very, very different in Africa. In Africa, you're going to die alone with a bag or with a bag of thought. You go through it alone. I mean, sometimes we have parents, but because of how the way we grew up,
Our
it's
culture,
even
our
our culture sometimes has not given us that that kind of exposure to sit down with mommy and daddy, tell them, you know what, daddy, you know what, mommy, in an African setting, a young man, a young woman, someone who's watching us right now, they have gone through a lot, and we're still going through a lot. You've just talked about a competition, a football competition. It is not a one-match competition or two. The Premier League is 38. You lose
Come on,
8,
yes.
you win
Oh.
30. So it doesn't mean
Yeah.
every time you lose,
Come on.
you're like Chelsea, we're out, or Arsenal, we're out. You're gonna keep fighting.
You didn't mention Manchester United. I'm a Man U fan. Thank you.
You just won a match recently, 7-0. By chance, you won.
No, 6-2 against Leeds, for information. Yeah, and last night we won 2-0 at Everton, by the way.
Okay, yeah. So, in an African setting, I myself, I have a story, but I'm telling you, in many cases, I've gone through this alone. Except, we have some people you say, I'm going to share with my girlfriend, I'm going to share with even the people we call friends. I really pity people who say, is my bestie. I really don't have besties in life. Because of course, out of experience, I don't have any bestie and I don't want to have.
Okay.
But how does someone pick up themselves without, we have a lot of those inspirational speakers, but I mean on a personal level. Do I really need to listen to someone? Or which other drive, like which other means can someone use to pick up themselves from that lowest point of their life?
Just before you answer, I'd love to put some cream on top.
Okay.
Sure.
Clearly, you're so vocal, you're so articulate, and that gives me the impression that, and from what one of our audience just commented, you're having that spark. You saw how you just carried our emotions the moment you just said, you shared your first story, and you still have many more to share. You've been disappointed and at very high levels, but still here you are having the strength to speak. So that makes you a motivational speaker. I just noticed you can say hallelujah, praise God. Thank God, please don't ask for offering. Eh? And then
Mercy is not ready to offer.
Okay.
I'm not ready. You are also a very professional person. You are the founder and the CEO of a company, and you're also a Manchester fan. How do you fuse all this together after every piece was everywhere? So how do we still have this JD who fits in each and every bracket?
Wow, very good question. Allow me to go back to what Ronnie said previously, and I will come back to you as well.
Sure.
Ronnie, this is serious now, okay?
Yeah.
Let's go into, we have been swimming maybe in a lake. Can we go into Atlantic or Pacific Ocean? Okay?
Yeah.
It's much wider. You know, I said in 2014, I tried to rebuild my life again, and I remarried. But guess what? Even my second marriage was not successful. I divorced my second wife, we divorced in 2018 after 4 years. And we didn't even live together because she was living abroad. I was staying here in Rwanda. And that doesn't mean that we divorced because I could not go where she was living. No, that was not the case. Along the way, and most of people didn't know that our marriage failed in the first week of after
Being
our
into
wedding.
marriage.
Yes, but I kept everything inside of me.
Yeah.
Okay, that I made that mistake. That's something that we could have discussed before. And I was you talked about something about our culture,
Yeah.
which is a very very big hindrance. I had to learn the lesson the hardest way, not even the hard way.
Yeah.
Trust me. During that period of time, between 2015 till 2018, I had to go through 3 years depression period of time. I was so depressed. I had to resign. I used to work in one of the biggest hotels here in Rwanda, very good paying job, but I lost everything apart from my happiness, which was in me. I think I was born with it. That's the only thing that kept me alive.
Fine.
Yeah.
Only I resigned. I had nowhere to go. I wanted to die. My marriage was falling apart. I wanted to quit ministry because there were so many challenges. I hated pastors and bishops, the people who know my story, because I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I didn't anyone to call me pastor anymore because I knew what was going on behind the curtains.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed. I failed in my marriage. At church, I didn't go to church anymore. At work, I was down. The battery was flat. There were no more fuel in my car. The engine was down. I had no one to talk to because I could not. You said I'm vocal, but back then, the only thing that I could say, I mean, I would just crack a joke, but sharing my story, trust me, there's so many people who walk around, but they have burdens in their hearts.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something that even my mom, because my family, I don't live with my family, my dad, my mom, and my siblings, they live in the States. My mom came with one of my cousins. They flew together. They came to see me because they heard about my story. Do you know that I've spent 2-3 hours with my mom? I could not recognize my biological mom because of depression. I could not open up my mouth and speak out what is my heart. It was so painful. Until I met someone, he's a friend of mine. His name is John Gasangwa. By the way, he's the one who gave me this watch.
Oh.
This is a gift from him. He's the first person that I talked to, and I emptied my heart. I got a relief. He's the first person that I trusted. Find someone you trust.
Yep.
Share your story. Someone who won't judge you. Do you know why I could not? I didn't want to talk about my story and someone who asked me A, B, C, D, why, what, when, what. No, don't go into details.
Yeah.
Someone who have an active ear to listen to you. Someone who is present, who is not absent-minded.
Yes.
Someone who's not judgmental. Someone who have been where you are.
Yep.
Wow.
That's why I can listen to people who have been where I used to be. Because I've been there.
Yeah.
I've carried that cross. So if you're carrying the same cross, trust me, I won't judge you. I won't ask you stupid questions, subjective questions. Yes, I will ask you questions, but questions which are there to build you, not destroy
Judging you. Maybe, JG, Do you have you have that?
But guys, don't cry.
No.
I can see tears. I mean, it's, yeah,
We
yeah.
can have some pictures there.
Okay, okay.
I'm going to try to be the real man my father
Yeah.
grew me into. But there are very, very few counseling farms, maybe I can say, in our country. And I'm very sorry to take you off topic. Do you think it is necessary for 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 the country and maybe the people like you, because as you say, sometimes we fear to share stories because people nowadays are too judgmental. You're going to tell someone something and be like, oh, you're a womanizer, that's why. Oh, that girl is a prostitute, that's why. Oh, you're not meant for success, that's why. Now, I mean, I'm looking for someone who's not going to judge me, who's going to listen to my story, who's going to understand why I did what I did. I went through what I went through. I know most of the times we want a shoulder to lean on, but we don't have one. Now, we've turned our pillows. You go back to your pillow, to your bedroom, and cry from there. Because, I mean, you got no shoulder to cry on. You got nobody to... Do you have anything that helps people that have gone through such kind of a life? You've gone through a lot, and you're so inspiring. But to someone who's watching you out there, maybe they are going through the same stories that you went through. For you have a testimony, but for them it's still a test. How do you help them? Maybe through social media platforms you can share with them on Facebook, Instagram. How do people reach you? So you could talk to them. Maybe we're coming to an end, but I just want you to talk to someone. How can they reach you for advice, for counseling?
Usually, I told you, we do live coaching sessions. Most of the time, I meet people one-on-one. They just grab a phone and they'll call me, or we just meet on social media, on Facebook, Instagram. So they'll inbox me, they'll tell me their story, and we'll set up an appointment, or if they have to call me, because you don't have to be physically there present, because most of people, some of the people, they live in Europe, in the States, and in Asia. They don't have to come here physically. But what I've decided is to be available. You know, for me, I do have an open door policy. So I'm not a VVIP. You have to. I mean, to apply 2 weeks. No, if I'm there, please, the door is open. Grab a phone. You call me. Send me an email. Send me a text. Tell me about your story. I'll be there for you.
Yeah, sure. Actually, on that, somebody is asking, could the guest kindly share its social media handles and probably the phone number for somebody who might be in need? Would you kindly?
My Facebook is Jean Desire H. Tawiniga, and on Instagram is Jean Desire, but there's an underscore in Tawiniga as well. On YouTube, the same thing, Jean Desire H. Tawiniga, and my number is 0788 306492.
Thank you.
0788 306492. Just pick the phone, you call me, then we see what happens.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just before we wrap it up, but since our main discussion topic was socio-economic empowerment, and you've shared very sentimental bits of yourself, and you mentioned one of the things that you were left with when you were losing everything was the happiness, which you said it was inborn.
Yep.
So how does the social wellness contribute to the economic factor at a personal level and all the way to the national level?
Very, very good question. I wish we had more time, but I guess
Definitely
maybe
we are having
maybe I will come back. I don't know, because there's so many stories to share or talk about. social well-being is very key, is very, very, very important. You know, when it comes to economic development, I'll, let me give you a very simple illustration. Do you know, now we're talking about productivity and performance.
Yes.
If we have two employees, A and B, A socially
Blends.
lens is A is happy, A is equipped, is A is composed. Do you know that his productivity will go much higher comparing to Mr. B, who is standing in the corner, crying, complaining, judging? He, they don't have the same level of motivation. Their level of engagement is totally different.
Yeah.
That's why I personally, as a consultant, organizational development consultant, the first thing that I will assess when I come to your place, your organization, I see how people socialize. How, very simple observation. How do they socialize? How do they interact? I'll ask them questions. How, because I'll even ask someone to call their son or their daughter. Okay? And I'll spend time to see how he
They
or she
interact.
interact with his daughter or his son. Because the way you talk to your family members will affect your performance at work and productivity. How you socialize with your peers, your friends,
Yeah.
will determine how you perform at your work, how you live with people in the society. So social life is very, very key, is very, very important. I hope next time when we come, we go deep in that subject, because now we have laid the foundation, and I think we have necessary tools to take off.
Sure. Ronnie?
We still have a lot of questions. I really, we said 45 minutes. We still have a lot of questions because I would come to, I would come to maybe the last. Would you allow me to do this last?
Okay, one last one because
Yeah,
I
one
know
last
somebody
question.
will be reaching out to me telling me.
JD, now we see that after the cryos, after the tests that someone has gone through, you gotta pick up yourself. Now you've picked up yourself. We have to understand that the world is still going on. And there are people that do not even understand, that do not have a clue of your story as a young man, as a young woman out there.
But you said
You-
the world is still going on.
Yeah, the world is, I mean, the world is going on.
It's dynamic, it's in movement.
Yes.
For your information,
Yeah.
the world travels, rotates
Yeah.
at the speed of 1,200 kilometers per second.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So within 1 second, the whole world has moved
Moved.
1,200 kilometers, which means if you stand still and you don't move on, you'll be left behind.
Exactly.
Okay,
that,
go
that,
ahead.
that, that was what I was coming to, that after all that has happened, the world is still going on. Everything is going on. Actually, so faster.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to need, maybe as we come to the end, you, even if it happened, but people, the purpose of your creation is still there, as long as you're still breathing.
Yes.
So you're going to pick up yourself, dress yourself up so nicely, and you go out there, do the purpose. Get your purpose into existence. Get your purpose into manifestation.
Yeah.
How, one word to that person who's watching you out there, how do I cope up from the wounds, from the heartbrokenness that I've gone through, to be able to pursue my purpose and inspire someone who has never actually experienced what I've gone through?
Two things. Number one, if you want to heal, the first thing you have to do, you have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, don't play games. Be honest with yourself. Trust me, if you have made mistakes, recognize your mistakes. Don't argue with anybody else. Recognize your mistakes. Learn lessons. The third step, forgive yourself.
Yeah.
There's so many people who move around with a sense of guilt.
Self-guilt.
That will kill you. That will kill you. Forgive yourself.
Accept yourself.
Accept yourself. What happened, it had already happened. You can't go back in the past and rectify your mistakes, but you can learn something that will carry you on to the future.
Yeah.
That's the number one. So learn a lesson, forgive yourself, learn something from what you did. Okay? Step number two, if there is anyone who did anything wrong to you, who offended you, trust me, forgive them.
That one. Forgive.
Otherwise, forgive them. If you still have the same person in your mind, he will come the main center of your speech.
Yeah.
So I didn't achieve my goals because of mercy. But the same speech was shared 5 years ago. Seriously?
Yeah.
Forgive him, release him, and move on. Forgive yourself, forgive others. And if you have offended someone along the way, also apologize, but move on. Because there is nothing, because the moment you release that sense of guilt, you become light. You become mobile. You can move around.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. That's very, very important. Yes, some people forgive you, which is okay, and some won't. You did what you're supposed to do.
Do your
Okay?
part.
Do your part. Okay? Do your part. And rise up and move on. Because you still more matches to play.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yes.
I think that's the best way of wrapping up the show
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me today. It has been such an honor and a pleasure. And I know we're going to have much more, because clearly you stated you have more stories, not just one. And probably just to our audience, it's been an honor you following us and definitely participating with us. Remember, these are not just stories that we are fabricating. These are very big chunks of people's parts, like taking your heart and giving it to somebody. So the only thing we can do from this is appreciating somebody like JD. Thank you so much.
What a joy of being the first guest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's our
this
first
show,
episode.
to this talk. I mean, it's amazing. Thank you very much, Ronnie and Mercy.
You're welcome.
amazing.
JD, maybe we've asked you a lot of questions, but maybe you have some people, tomorrow is Christmas, and today, you have some people you want to wish a Merry Christmas.
Wow. First and foremost, my special wishes will go to my family. I mean, it's what a blessing to have a family around you. My parents, my dad, my mom, my siblings who are there in the States and Canada. May God bless you so much. My friends, and I have friends, not so many, but a few friends who are very, very meaningful to me. So, and everybody, because I'm a people person. I like to hang around with people. So I wish a Merry Christmas to each and everybody. But for information, by the way, Christmas, people don't know the meaning of Christmas.
Are we really ending this show?
Christmas is for everybody. 'Cause, I mean,
Yes.
it's either you are Muslim, I don't care. I will tell you Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Christmas was not meant for Christians because Christ died for everybody. Either you believe it or not, He died for you.
Yeah.
I think we should have a
Yes.
Christmas,
Yeah.
what is it called? Christmas, That's church term.
Kind of.
And what is it again?
What is that?
That thing that happens in churches before the birth of Christ.
The Christmas Eve.
It's something.
Okay,
We should
okay.
have that, and then I'll give you the platform. I won't interfere.
Oh,
You'll
that'll
preach
be-
it out to
That'll
everyone.
be amazing.
Oh, yeah?
That'll be amazing. Christ is for
It will be
everybody.
tonight.
It's for you. Christmas is for, I mean, it's,
Everybody.
trust me, this is not just a festive season. It's a Christmas.
All right.
Christ is for you, everybody. So, Merry Christmas.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you so much. And definitely from us, from the webinar studios, and with my co-host Ronnie, we wish you a very Merry Christmas. And on behalf of the Webena team,
Yeah.
we love you. And we're hopeful to catch you more and more times for such inspirational stories. Please, we can have this talk going on right on our social media platforms.
Yeah.
Just drop your question there. Drop your comment. He just said that he's very much available and open. Let's grab that before we start paying consultation fees. Until we see you again.
All right,
Merry
ladies and
Christmas.
gentlemen, I just want to wish somebody a Merry Christmas out there, but thank you so much for being with us this very, very beautiful day, 24th of 2020, December. We're so excited to air our first episode of the Inspire Talk. We will be coming back live on Monday.
And we are having a very interesting guest. You
with,
don't want to miss this one.
with one of those beautiful, amazing women in the land of 1,000 hills that you really don't have to miss. We wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. And the technical team, Roik and your team, Amen, and my brother on camera, thank you so much for making this happen. We love you, and bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.